After a long hot summer, especially like the one we've just had, you can often get brown scorched patches on your lawn, or maybe your cat peed there or something, and it's kind of unsightly, but it's very easy to remedy, and autumn in fact is the perfect time to do it. Now if you've got a big area, you're going to need to use a rake, and if you've got a slightly smaller area, then you might find it useful to use a trowel or something. But because my little bare patch is so small, I'm actually just going to use a fork. And what you want to do is scratch that area. Now if you've got a rake, obviously you're going to rake the area just so that you're breaking up the soil. In this case it's getting rid of a little moss as well, which isn't a bad thing. Then you need to water that area, and it's always better to moisten your soil before you sow grass seed. So I'm just going to water it with the watering can like that, and just let that drain away. In fact, I've overwatered that, so it's not going to drain, so I'm going to help it by tining with my fork, letting that water really drain into the soil so it's nice and moist. Now then, grass seed, how much do you use? Well, they normally say, well, what's this one? 35 grams per square metre, or 1 1/4 ounces per yard. I tend to not take any notice of those sort of things. I tend to just sort of, rather like cooking, throw a bit of what I need in. So this is a tiny little patch of ground. In fact, I'm going to clear that water out because it's not draining in quickly enough. But this is good because it shows you nothing runs to plan in gardening, so you've got to improvise. So I've got a very moist, probably moister than I'd like patch, but hey, that won't make any difference. And I'm going to just take out a pinch of seed like that. And what I want to do is just scatter that as easily as that in my patch, maybe a pinch more. So you can see out of that little handful, I only took a pinch and a half of seed, which is more than enough. Probably over generous for a patch this size, but I'm also aware the birds will come and eat it, so I'm making allowance for, I'm going to lose some of it as bird food. Now you could cover it with a little piece of netting to stop the birds getting it, but I've allowed for a bit of seed in there for the birds, so I'm not too worried about that. Water it regularly if it's dry, and you'll have a nice little green patch coming through in no time at all.